Many women don't feel like having sex until they're having sex. And many women don't initiate because they don't want to do it like we want to do it. So why are you going to ask your wife if she wants to have sex if every time you ask her she says no? What do you do instead? You be nice to the girl. You touch the girl's heart. You romance the girl. When you feel the buzz of testosterone or that little tingling in the loins, it's God's way of reminding you to touch her heart, not her body. Now, this is the perfect standoff between men and women. They want us to touch their heart, and we want to touch their happy place, right? And in this, we're going to signify the happy place in this way. I like this? Okay. Now, when women get a hold of this, they can never see the smiley face t-shirt in the same way again. All right, but ultimately, some struggle with this, and they have difficulty with this. But hang with me on the stick figure here, okay? There is your Eve. There's the girl, okay? And she wants us to touch her heart. Okay? How do you touch your heart? Shout out. How can you touch your wife's heart? What touches your wife's heart? Your mouth, the way you speak to her. Be nice to the kids. You take care of the kids. She feels warm towards you.
Take time to listen to her.
Take time to listen to her.
I got some work to do.
Vacuum the carpet.
The honey-do list.
A bunch of work to do.
The honey-do list.
Pursue her.
Okay, so here's how this works. You touch her heart, and she'll give you, all right? She'll give you, yep, we're drawing the diagram. It said here, Damascus Church, we drew this diagram up here on the rail today, and she'll give you the green light to touch the happy place. Right? Okay? And that's the way it works. And this is where we get stuck. This is where men and women get stuck. That's where I get stuck. And the message to women, just to be fair, and there will be some women listen to this, I hope. The message to women is, I gotta turn this around at the risk of forever being labeled the sex guy, and the scourge of all the women in Greater Washington. Happy place guy. Women, ladies, you've got to take this seriously. Because another way this can work is if you let him touch you, he will want to touch your heart. Okay, who's going to go first? Guys, since I'm talking to you, since we're men, go first. Touch her heart. Use the buzz and the desire to prompt you to be nice to the girl. A, abstain from substitutes. B, be nice to the girl. You're not sure how to be nice to the girl? There are entire ministries set up to do that. Waterboyz has partnered with our ministry to do that, to learn to hold her heart of honest thoughts, feelings, and desires. You've got to too. And it goes both ways in that process. Some of you have learned some of those skills. This is not impossible to learn to do, and it works. Just like friend Tony, put yourself in a position by abstaining from substitutes and being nice to the girl. Okay, take that down, if you would. Laughyourway.com. Great resources. They even have a temperament assessment on there. Talk to me if you want more of that. But visit laughyourway.com. Great website. Great little streaming vignettes, and the resources are tremendous. The DVD set. That's what it looks like if you get it. No, you cannot borrow this. I've loaned too many. Thanks. Okay. C, commit your sexuality to Christ. We touched on this earlier. Is He big enough and strong enough to not just provide for you your finances, to guide you, to give you direction? Is Jesus a strong enough God-man to handle the strength of your sexuality? And it is a force, isn't it? If women knew how strong this really was, they'd probably think we're a lot sicker than they already do. Okay? It's time we bring it out. It's time we deal with it in a real way. And again, because He Himself suffered when He was tempted, He is able to help those being tempted. Story of two men. Paul tells us, wanting to recover in addictions. One calls when he gets the itch. Pray for me. I don't want to do this. One calls after he uses. When do you call? Do you ever call? Would you take a call from me? I've got the itch to take matters into my own hands, but I don't want to do that. Will you pray for me? Will you look me in the eye and tell me that you are standing in strength, continuing to commit your sexuality to Christ, and thereby encourage me that I can do that? For what one man can do, another man can do. What the God-man did, we can do. What one man among us who is dead serious about sexual purity can do, another can do. We went there at our table this week. That was tremendous. And we're all standing in greater strength and sexual purity day by day because of it. Okay, there you go. The ABCs. Abstain from substitutes. Be nice to the girl. Have a clear picture. And commit your sexuality to Christ. Paul, we're at 9:25. We talked about some table talk with some questions. We can do that, or we could close at this point around the group prayer, committing our sexuality to Christ.
Can we all hang for like 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, let's see you next screen, Ben. What do you want? And these are true ones for me. I want to be pure. I want sex in my marriage to be beyond imagination. I want my wife to say, my man knows how to make love to my soul. Because that's what we're doing with our bodies. We're communicating something spiritual. Others have said it much better than I. I'm not trying to have the final word on the theology and purpose of sex here, but to equip us to be pure. I want to view other women as precious souls, not bodies made for my pleasure. I identify with a brother who told me last week, a pastor who spoke this in revival. He said, I'm saved by the grace of God because I bed every babe I meet, and I case every bank I walk into. Some of us can identify with that. Okay? And it's something we have to continually consecrate to Him. What do you want? Next screen, Ben. Think about what do you want and what are you willing to do. Let's leave this up. And if you would, let's have about 7 or 8 minutes at the table that you share and you listen. Be brief, be succinct, go where you're willing to go, take a risk, keep it real, and at the end of that time, Paul's going to close. God asks those who would want to take a stand to commit your sexuality one day at a time in 2010 to Jesus Christ to come forward at that time and stand together in strength to commit our sexuality to Him. Okay.